Let's watch it one more time. So the next rule that we're going to talk about is a fair ball. And so I pose the question, when is a ball fair? We find this definition in Rule 2, which Rule 2 is where we find nearly all the definitions. And let's go jump in with this. This is on page 18, Rule 2, Section 5. And notice the title of this section is called a fair ball. We're talking about fair ball. We're not talking about foul ball. We're talking about a fair ball. So a fair ball states, according to Rule 2, a ball that is hit and settles on fair territory between home and third base, or between home and first base. That's pretty self-explanatory. It gets a little more confusing. Contacts fair ground on or beyond an imaginary line between first and third base. We'll talk about that one in a second. Third is on or over fair ground when bounding to the outfield, meaning like a bounding ball that is bouncing past the first or third base. Also, a ball that touches first, second, or third base. And then lastly, got two more. While on or over fair territory touches an umpire or player or their clothing or equipment. Again, that's while over fair territory. And lastly, while over fair ground passes out of the playing field in flight, i.e. a home run. Okay, so as we take a look at these, the one that I want to show you that I think is the quirkiest for us to see is when it says touches a spot beyond an imaginary line between first and third base. So if we draw a line between first and third base right here, say we have a batted ball that swirls right here and touches the ground here and somehow squibs down here in this direction. This is going to be a fair ball according to the rule. And let me just read that to you. First falls on fair ground on or, wait, hold on. Contacts fair ground on or beyond an imaginary line between first and third base. So this is one that we have to be really careful for because this is a very anormal kind of pattern of play on this one. Okay. Now, I pose the opposite question. When is a ball foul? Well, quite simple. A ball is foul when it can no longer possibly become fair. So we have to think about that every baseball is fair until it becomes foul. With that thought is we have to be patient whenever we call the ball foul. When you call the ball foul, the play is dead and nothing can happen. That's why we come up with the time signal in here. We say foul, that means everything stops. If we're slow to call foul, what's the worst thing that could happen? Players start running a little more, the ball starts rolling a little further, let ourselves process it. Oh, wait, that was a foul ball. Then it's foul. Or we can process a little more. Wow, that was a squirrely play. What did I see? I think that's fair. You know, you're right. It is a fair ball. And we point it fair. And then everything keeps running. It is better to call a ball fair than correct it to foul. Can we correct a fair foul call? Yes, we can. This is one that we can correct. But I'm just letting you know, it is so exponentially easier for us to go to a coach and say, you know, that fair ball, yeah, my partner and I, we talked about it and it most definitely was foul. So we're going to put the batter back in the box. We're going to move runners back to where they were, and it's a foul ball. As opposed to the opposite, where you call the ball foul, and then you realize your mistake and you go, oh, shoot, what did I just do? And if you're going to change that call, then you, as an umpire, have to put runners where you think they would be had that ball not been called erroneously. And let me tell you, that is a losing conversation 100% of the time. So please, if you are unsure, call the ball fair. sort it out after, because if you do call it foul, you can just call it foul and then reset it. Of course, with the strike on the batter as well. But please take a little extra time to call fair or foul. Now let's go back to this play and let's watch it with that in mind. So when the ball is hit, the ball immediately touches foul territory. So umpire could possibly look at this and say, oh, it touched foul territory. This is a foul ball. Again, that would be wrong. It's still rolling very foul down the first baseline. And then the fielder picks it up as it rolls and is landed on the fair foul line. So in this scenario, we have a fair ball, and then we have a tag. So please be very slow in reading the balls off the bat, especially if they come off the knob, just like this one. Lots of spin, lots of fields have various different things. It could hit the turf, it could roll lots of different ways. Don't call the ball foul until it can truly no longer become fair. In other words, if the ball has stopped rolling in foul territory, call it foul. If the ball is touched in foul territory, call it foul. Okay, but until those two things happen, leave the ball, leave it still in play, because it could possibly become fair, just like this one did. Next question, take a look at where the tag happens. So I want to say this is a really cool tweener play, like it's between the two things. And so who has the tag on the batter runner in this scenario? Well, if the tag happens before the 45-foot line, which thankfully this field had the 45-foot line, yay. If it happens before the 45-foot line, the plate umpire is going to be able to make that call. Just like as if it's a bunt right around home plate, the catcher picks it up and tags the runner, the plate umpire is going to have that tag. Just like a drop third strike, if the drop third strike happens and the catcher picks it up and runs after and tags the runner right there close to home, plate umpire is going to have that call. Similar situation here, up to the 45-foot line, the plate umpire is going to have the tag, or can have the tag. If it's after the 45-foot line, this needs to come from the base umpire. And same way that tags close to first base are the base umpire's responsibility in all the other scenarios, it's going to be the same in this case. But above all, if all else fails, look at your partner and communicate. As a base umpire, hey, Caleb, I've got this. Hey, Caleb, I've got a tag. On the tag, he's out. Or as a plate umpire, you can look up and say to your base umpire, hey, base umpire, hey, I got this one. I got a tag, and he's out. You can communicate, especially on these tweeners that happen between them. I want to go back and look one more time on this call, and you can see just how close it was. And watch the base umpire this time. So our tag is maybe, what, 3 feet, 5 feet into the 45-foot line. There's our tag there. And then our base umpire, I have a fair call. I wish you could see his eyes because his head turns towards me. And he's just making sure I'm not going to call anything. And then we have a very obvious out call that doesn't need much selling because everybody knows we have a tag. So good teamwork there on a fun little fair foul call.